Am I the a-hole for going to the police immediately when I found out my parents took out debt in my name? I, to 1F, just found out that my parents took out multiple credit cards and loans in my name, and I honestly don't know what to do with myself. It all started off as what I assumed was them helping me out financially. I didn't know much about credit back then, and they never really explained it to me. I trusted them. They always said they'd help me financially with school, and since they were the ones managing a lot of my accounts, I didn't ask too many questions. For a while, it seemed like they were handling everything just fine. The bills were getting paid, or so I thought, and there was no reason to think something was wrong. I didn't even have a key to the mailbox, so I never saw any credit card bills or loan statements. Looking back, I guess that should have been a red flag, but I didn't think much of it at the time. Fast forward to this summer, I had just completed my 3rd year of university and was getting ready to move out with my boyfriend. I had been living at home to save money, but my plan was to finally be more independent. It felt like the right time, and I was excited about it. Moving out would also require me to get a credit check for renting an apartment, and that's when things started spiraling. My parents freaked out when I told them about my plans to move out. They forbade me from leaving, saying that it was ridiculous to waste money on rent when I could continue living at home for free. At first, I thought it was just their usual overprotectiveness, especially since they've never really liked my boyfriend. They've always been a bit controlling, so I thought this was just their way of keeping me under their roof and away from him. But oh boy, was I wrong. I decided to check my credit myself, thinking that maybe my parents were just being paranoid about finances. But when I pulled up my credit report, my heart stopped. I found out that I had over $60,000 in debt, credit cards, personal loans, all in my name. I had never applied for any of these, but my parents had been using my name and social security number to open accounts for God knows how long. I felt completely blindsided. I immediately confronted my parents, and their response. They said they had every intention of paying off the debt, but they had fallen behind. They tried to justify it, saying that they were just trying to keep the family afloat. I get that they were struggling, but this was my future they had put in jeopardy without my knowledge or consent. I told them they needed to clear the debt immediately and that, since they had violated my trust in such a huge way. I wanted more freedom in the house rules if I was going to keep living there specifically. I wanted my boyfriend to be allowed to spend the night. After all, if I wasn't going to move out, I wanted at least some independence. They refused. They told me I couldn't strong-arm them into changing the rules of their own house. They also claimed they didn't have the money to pay off the debt they had racked up. That's when it really hit me they weren't going to fix this, and they didn't even seem to feel guilty for what they'd done. They acted like I was being unreasonable for even asking. I was furious. I called my aunt, who has always been the more level-headed, reasonable member of the family, and told her everything. She was horrified and immediately invited me to stay with her. When I got there, she sat me down and asked a lot of questions about the situation. She also showed me a dozen Reddit posts about parents ruining their children's futures by taking out debt in their names and how some kids just let it happen because they felt guilty or trapped. That's when I realized this wasn't something I could just let go. I wasn't going to let my parents screw up my life because of their mistakes. I had already been screwed over once, and if I didn't take action, I'd be paying for it literally for years to come. So I made the hardest decision of my life. I went to the police and reported what my parents had done. Identity theft, fraud, it was all there. They were arrested and charged. Now they're furious with me, and I can't help but feel conflicted. On one hand, they're my parents, and I do feel bad about what's happening to them. I don't know exactly what they spent all that money on, but I know for sure it wasn't on me. On the other hand, they're the ones who put me in this situation in the first place, and I can't just sit by and let them ruin my future because of their financial irresponsibility. I never wanted this to happen. I wanted to move out, start a new chapter in my life, and build a future with my boyfriend. Instead, I'm stuck cleaning up a mess that I didn't make. My parents are furious and blaming me, but I'm trying to remind myself that they're the ones who put us here, not me. They crossed a line, and I couldn't just let them continue to destroy my credit and my future. But now I'm questioning myself. Did I overreact by going to the police right away? Should I have given them more time to fix things? Am I the a-hole for reporting my parents to the police for putting me in $60,000 of debt?